I can feel it wanting to break traction coming out of that corner. Hello, people on internet. It's your favorite garage dwelling Sarah here with another car review. And today I have the 2021 Mercedes GLA45 AMG. That is the fastest hot hatch I have ever reviewed. Except technically it's not a hot hatch. Actually it is, because that is a hatchback and that's hot. That is a hot hatch. I don't care what anyone says. Here in America, we are robbed of the A-Class hatchback. We do, however, have a sick obsession with crossovers and SUVs, so Mercedes gives us the GLA, and because this one contains the highest horsepower four-cylinder in a production vehicle, you'll notice there's a bunch of heat exchangers all behind this more aggressive front bumper and grille. I like the vertical slats, kind of reminds me of that AMG GTR. The biggest difference between those vehicles is in the sheet metal. You notice the nose of the GLA looks like a bubble. It's a bubble car. I like bubble cars, especially when they haul ass like this one does. Aside from this denim blue paint and these optional 20-inch wheels wrapped in two 55/40 Conti Sport Contact 6 tires, everything you see here is pretty much what you get on a standard one of these GLA45 AMGs, which include these huge ass 13.8-inch rotors of 4-piston calipers standard. And if that's not enough, you can up it to a 14.2-inch rotor and a 6-piston caliper on top of that. And you only get single pot calipers in the rear, but at least they are powder coated and have that AMG badge on them. There really isn't much on the side of this car that gives away what's under the hood. And personally, I actually think the GLA looks better proportionally with these bigger wheel arches and larger wheels than what you have on the A-Series hatchback. Man, they do such a good job at making the light evenly distributed. All I can see is a red square now wherever I look in these taillights. This thing is such an absolute sleeper. Other than the AMG badge and these quad exhaust tips, no one is ever gonna suspect this thing for being fast. Moving to the interior. What the hell? I must have one of the rare ones that was manufactured in New Jersey, because it says, warning, do not let the system distract you from the traffic situation. It was a Jersey Shore reference in case you didn't catch that. This is actually manufactured in Rastatt, Deutschland, 73% part content. If you haven't already noticed, I'm kind of a Sasquatch, especially wearing heels, yet I feel tiny sitting inside this rocket bubble. This does not feel like a hatchback sitting in it. It feels like an SUV, a baby SUV. That's what it is. Especially right here. I mean, I feel like I'd fit a half of a person between me and the door. Haven't sat back here, so this seat's nice and cool. No ass sweat back here. They stick to your butt. There's no perforation in them. They are heated and multiple adjustments, especially this little slidey boy right here under your thighs. I like these a lot. Make a seat so much more comfortable. The adjustments are over here on the door, like in most Mercedes vehicles. Bolstering wise, not much bolstering, but doesn't matter because they have not one but two different performance seats available for this thing. So I'm not gonna ding it on the seats because you can pay more and have badass seats if you want. This is a big back seat. Like, I'm surprised. I have tons of room back here. I did not expect that. This is cute. They look like little eyeballs and a little mouth underneath it. Not much of a fan of the faux carbon pieces. You don't pay extra for those, but I just don't like fake carbon fiber. It doesn't look bad. Somebody sat back here with greasy hair. There's actually a little hair grease mark on the C-pillar. Not from me. I don't have greasy hair right now. I do coconut treat my hair every once in a while though, and then it gets a little greasy. Not something I want to see on a hot hatch. I love that they use that graphic of like a 1980s van though. Why don't manufacturers invest in a graphic arts artist to at least put a Mercedes on there? I'm glad they didn't ruin a performance vehicle by putting a giant hole in the roof. That's good. It's fire this thing up and go over the important stuff. I also think it was really smart that they put the auto stop start off button right next to your engine start button instead of having it somewhere else obscure in the car. God, this thing sounds so f***ing awesome. You should hear the bangs when it shifts. Oh, don't worry, you will actually hear the bangs. F***ing car bangs. All right, the important stuff. Infotainment system. You have dual 10.25-inch screens right here that flow across the dash. This one does have a couple tech options added to it, a $1,300 multimedia package that includes augmented reality navigation, like Pokemon Go. I'll show you in a little bit. Magic. Just like that, it's dark. I want you to really get to see the ambient lighting in here because it's pretty much the best ambient lighting of any vehicle I've ever tested. And you can change the color to whatever you want. There's also pre-programmed settings in here for multicolor. So I had it on purple sky, which goes back and forth between blue and purple. So your vents will alternate with the ambient lighting down below. It'll turn purple, and then that will turn purple, and that will turn blue, and then that will turn blue, back and forth. Fire red, dawn blue, jungle green. Let's see what that looks like. Well, that's fun. It also has a $250, absolutely worth it, track pace option. If you select this right here, okay, you can actually add different individual racetracks, or you can use it for the drag strip, and it will show you the telemetry of whatever specific race course you are on, which is for $250, that's an absolute no-brainer. This is such a smart feature to have in there. Considering this thing starts just over $54,000 for the AMG 45 model and only has a few $1,000s in options, I think this is phenomenal value. And that's hard to say for crossovers that are over $50,000. The gauges are also just as customizable as your infotainment system. You can go in here and choose different themes for your gauges. So mine's right now on Super Sport. I'm gonna put it onto Classic. You can see it changes the layout and the colors, and also matches over here on your infotainment system as well when you do that. In the name of science, I'm now gonna give this thing the beans. It's gonna give me the beans, actually. There's tons of different modes to configure here for the drive settings, so I'll try to make it as simple as possible. Over here, you have 3 settings for your traction. You have on, sport handling mode, and then you can hold it down even further and defeat it completely. And then you have your AMG Dynamics button right here. You can press that, and then it'll go from basic to advanced or to pro. There's also a race version, but this does not have that package equipped. If you want to individually adjust your suspension, there's this button down here of a picture of a little strut, and you can adjust that for multiple settings as well. This button over here is just to change from automatic to manual mode for your transmission. And then lastly, you have this little rotary dial over here that allows you to adjust everything at once, which makes it really easy on the fly. You already know what I'm gonna do. Leave it in Sport Plus. Ready? Go. Oh geez. Oh my god. Oh, are you serious? Oh my god. That's good enough. That third gear though. Oh my god. This thing is mental. The launch control is epic. Oh, this car just ruined me. I can never enjoy my Forester ever again. It's pointless after driving this thing. Ooh, feel the heat under there. Whew. Handcraft. Oh, I want one so bad. Oh my god. Hello, welcome to Garage Science of Sarah. Under the hood of this 21 GLA45 AMG is a hand-built, fully closed deck, die-cast alloy, 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that produces 382 horsepower at 6,500 RPM and 354 pound-feet of torque from 4,750 to 5,000 RPM. If you look right here, it has the person's name, Guido Nordheim, I think, if I pronounce that right. I can't really see because it's his signature. Hand assembled engine, and that guy right there is a little twin scroll turbo. It's not actually little, it's pretty decent size, that runs a peak of 27.5 psi, and the S version of this that we don't get in North America produces 416 horsepower at a peak of 30 psi. All right, it's time for the braking test. No one behind me? Ready? Holy f***. It's a lot of pedal travel to that. I broke my brain. Hello, I'm back. It is now time to inspect the undercarriage of the rocket bubble. What? Why would you not just weld the tip on? Oh, check that out. Holy crap. Look at the exhaust piping. It's just, that's like a crazy shape. I've never seen exhaust, it's like triangle shaped. That is wild. Look how big diameter the piping is on this thing. That's gotta be bigger than 3-inch diameter. That is massive. There would be no need to put aftermarket exhaust system on this thing. Now this right here is something worth nerding out over, because I was wondering what kind of a rear diff can take the abuse that engine is capable of putting out. And the way this works, from the research I did, is it uses a set of multi-disc clutches for each rear wheel, so it can torque vector the power left or right and handle all that abuse. It's kind of cool. I thought like maybe Borg Warner or someone else made it for Mercedes, but there's AMG decals on it all over the place. This thing's awesome. I wonder if this is some kind of extra structural bracing to eliminate wheel hop. At the front half of the drive shaft on this 4MATIC all-wheel drive system is an 8-speed dual clutch transmission, which is absolutely choice. I don't know what I'm doing with my hand right here. I was just making like shadow puppets. That's crazy. There's a downward facing heat exchanger in here. Man, talk about making use of all your space. That is I've never seen that on a vehicle before. I would show you what the transmission looks like, but they hid it underneath this giant aluminum skid plate. And I don't see any access points to change the oil on here, Mercedes. This is a knuckle. This is also a knuckle. These are all knuckles. That's a big ass brake. And rocket bubble. Yeah. Those bangs. Third gear is tall on this car. It's a very linear power band too. It pulls really hard in the upper RPMs, which it's weird because you do get a good torque shove down low. I say there's a little bit of lag, but when you're actually going already, no, there isn't. The transmission is so fast to react. There is no turbo lag other than from a dead stop, and it's only momentarily, and I think it's actually a combination of the transmission and it building boost just for a split second, and then it just rips shit as soon as you go. You can feel the extra ride height in here. It doesn't inspire a ton of confidence if you look at this like it's a hot hatch, but if you think of it as a crossover, it's insane. This is kind of a mind right now, because I want to send this thing down a back road like it's a hot hatch, but it's not a hot hatch. I would want to lower it, but then people would be like, why wouldn't you just buy the A-Class hatchback? Because we don't have them here in America, Mercedes. I don't understand the mindset of some people where they'll buy one of these because it looks like a crossover, but it's not much different than a hatchback. It really isn't. I mean, it's a hatchback. It just sits barely higher. Yeah, this is weird. This is really weird. I keep like in my head thinking I'm driving a GTI or a Civic Type R, but this is a crossover, a small SUV. I can feel it wanting to brake traction coming out of that corner. It's got a lot of bite up front though, and you can feel it kind of want to rotate a little bit. As far as living with this thing every day, I feel the fuel economy is on point for how fast this is. I mean, this gets about the same fuel economy as I get in my tuned Forester XT, which sucks because this thing is quite a bit faster and it has launch control. And people go wow when they see a Mercedes AMG. They don't when they see a Forester. Alright, about that augmented reality navigation.
In 500 feet at the traffic light, turn right onto East Rita Road.
See? Isn't that crazy? It's using the front-facing camera and it's actually putting the directions on the camera. So you can see the sign in the middle of the road. It's so crazy. That is well worth getting factory navigation to have that feature. Suspension is a little bit harsh, but I don't care because I like to party. There's a little bit more road noise in here than I care for, but I think that has a lot to do with these 20-inch wheels and the type of tires that are on them. Other than that, all smiles here. If you guys never seen one of my car reviews before, I have multiple categories to rate and assess them. Starting with the bean score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 beans based on feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. And this AMG GLA45 is getting a rating of 3 beans. Ultimate sleeper. I love it. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be as fast as it is. That's what makes this thing perfect. And it is fast. This thing rips. I can only imagine what the S version overseas is like, or one of these things tuned. Next is the cookie score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 cookies based on what you get for what you spend, assessment of value. And as this one is equipped, is getting a rating of 4.5 cookies. I think this is excellent value because of the fact of what is under the hood. It's hand assembled and the drivetrain in this thing feels nuke proof. It feels like you could beat the hell out of this over and over and over and it would just take it with a smile. You have massive brakes. The tech features are fun. There's plenty of them and it just feels like it's worth what you're paying. I like that. Lastly though is the penguin score. There's a rating of 1 to 5 penguins based on how much I personally like a vehicle. And the GLA45 AMG is getting a rating of 4.7 penguins. It's getting a rating of 4.7 and not 5 despite me absolutely adoring this thing because of the fact there is an S version available overseas which is faster and that would get a better rating because it's faster. And also, I would like to see a couple more colors offered on this. There isn't really much in the palette. And if you made it available in lime green, it would look like an edamame. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you soon with another. Bye!